Today I'm going to be trying something just for fun. Recently we've been losing the light earlier and earlier in the UK, so our club has been doing a lot of night flying, which we are permitted to do at our site. But the majority of people doing night flying are bringing planes covered in lights, and I wanted to join in. So what we've got here is the Lumen Top FW1A. It is the smallest torch per output that you can buy, and it's really cheap as well. I think I bought this one for 25 GBP. It's just a single 18650, and it weighs about the same as a GoPro. Originally, this was meant to go on my Cub as a landing light, but the Cub had a crash, so there's been a setback with that. So I thought to join in with the fun, I would just strap this towards the top here of the best bind and fly quadcopter that money can buy. This is the iFlight F5 Evoke, and it's got its LEDs on there. Anyways, so you could argue it's a night flyer. It's got the Caddx Polar camera up front here, which is a starlight camera. It's very good in low light. However, it doesn't have the IR block removed. Now, people who have been following me for a long time may remember when I put an infrared emitter on the top here, and cameras that have got the IR block removed can pick up the infrared light, so you don't actually see any of the brightness of the emitter on the top here. But because this one here has got its IR block in place, I thought, well, why not just strap this to the top of this model here and create a kind of spotlight. Now, before I go any further, I really need to mention that we have permission at our site to night fly. We pay for the site. They know the kind of things that we get up to. So it's probably not a good idea to do this if you are just flying in a field. Well, unless you're in the middle of nowhere. But this light here, I think it can do 1,200 lumens. And if you don't know what that means, it's just basically very bright. It's on the lowest setting here at the moment. It's got 3 LEDs, and yeah, you can't look at it when it's on full power. For example, if I just tap it there, yes, it's not showing up well in this room because the phone adjusts to the exposure. It's got a boost button, which gives it even more light. And these particular torches, they actually start to dim because they get very hot. But of course, we are flying in the air, and it gets lots of airflow. So I can do the turbo boost, and it won't dim because it doesn't overheat. You can see the 3 LEDs here, and my plan is to sort of like give a spotlight to the planes. So I sort of fly above them. It's going to be pitch black, although it won't look like it, probably because of this polar camera here. In fact, what I think is probably going to happen is this torch is just going to sort of wash out everything, but essentially give a spotlight on the ground so that the night flyers can sort of see, you know, a place to land. It's also great when you're doing night flying because I can take this off, and when we need to pack up, I can shine this at my bag and, you know, make sure I've packed everything away. Now, I'm not sure if you saw on the previous video with the Hawk, we had a guy in the estate just off the side shining a very powerful laser pen. And even though, you know, he was trying to perhaps attack us, it actually looked really good. And there's a member in the club who has got his own laser, not as powerful as that one, And we thought, yeah, let's see how it would look as a night show. Again, we have permission to do this. I'm not sure about the laser, just because of, we want to keep our sight. If you've ever tried to set up a flying club and they let you do crazy stuff like this, you really don't want to push it. So I don't know if we're going to see any of the laser, but kind of just that flashing in the background, and a plane with lights on, and a quad like this. Yeah, I think you could do a spectacular sort of light show. Recently I went to Western Park and they put on an incredible fireworks and light show on their planes, and I think that's important for FPV, to have a visual spectacle rather than, oh yeah, you have to buy these expensive goggles if you want to see anything. Otherwise, you're just looking at a mosquito in the sky. So I've always, I've tried to push us making FPV more spectacular, and this is just a fun thing that I want to try. Might not work, to see if we can make things a little bit more interesting. But as I say, if you haven't got permission, then don't attempt this, because you're probably going to create, maybe some complaints or something like that, or, UFO sightings, if anything other than that. And I believe in some countries you can't even night fly anyways, but we're quite lucky with that. So Phil is bringing a plane, and yeah, GoPro gets in the way, so that's got to come off. But the GoPro, I think, wouldn't give good results anyways. Probably the Polar Cam will give better results. And it's just mounted on the top of the battery here for now. And with the camera pointed slightly up, the idea is that when I'm flying straight, this spotlight here is going to shine on the ground, point down slightly, and light stuff up. All right, let's give this a go. Yeah, that's lighting the ground up nice. Oh, we got laser pen going as well. Oh yeah, good point. Well, I'll light you up, Phil. Is that not lighting the ground up nicely for you, Phil? Laser pan. We need just some music now, don't we? We've got a rave going on.
Just watched smokers in about the buildings over
Yeah. I'll land if it's too much.
No, I've got the laser pen, mate.
Oh, laser pen.
Yeah. I don't want anybody to report it, you see.
Well, last week there was a chap firing a laser pen at the what's it? Oh, oh dear.
Straight up. Spin. Drop. Roll. Pull out.
There's so many particles in the air hitting the light.
Probably flies.
Yeah, I think it must be. So many. Yeah, it must be like flies. Moths, I'm confusing a million moths. Both of us are.
Swarm of them following.
Yeah, I think so.
What's it look like, Andy?
Looks good, man. It looks good. It's just a shame that I can't have the GoPro on top with the light. It's either the light or the GoPro. So this particular spotlight is really blasting everything out. But it works in that, like, it lights up the ground.
Can't have the GoPro because of the positioning.
Yeah, because, well, I suppose I could. I didn't plan it. I just grabbed the light and that was it. I just thought, oh, let's see, even if it works, but it does, so that's good to know.
I'm getting used to a spotlight.
This is what we should have done back in the day, Phil. Have the light on the plane behind.
You know what I mean, Joe?
Is that the ET music?
Close encounters.
Close Encounters. Ah.
He's 40 now. Right, I'm going down to see the lads inside. Locks are on the gate down here.
That's my battery, I'm afraid. Now landing might be a problem because I don't want to blind you guys,
I'm going to turn around. I've shut my eyes.
Yeah, I'm shutting my eyes.
and I don't want to blind Phil either. So
I'm looking closer. If you come in from my side, it could be alright. Or even land behind.
okay, sorry, Phil. Pretty funny.